What's going on, YouTube? It's Brianna back here again with another YouTube video. So gonna get straight into it. This is gonna be the partial bootcamp experience video. So what had happened was I originally had made a bootcamp experience video. I had two of my friends that were in bootcamp. We were all together in bootcamp at the same time, and for some reason my computer decided to delete it. So I had no fucking video. So yeah, that sucked. But anyways, here it's been like a month since I've gotten out of boot camp, so we're gonna try and take things back a little bit, but I'm gonna still try and do like individual videos for each week about boot camp, but this is gonna basically give like a summary about it once I get all those videos out. So number one, highly recommend you pack a bag before you leave for boot camp. I did this, and I'm very grateful that I did now that I'm in A-School. If anybody is wondering, I'm going into my 4th week at A-School. Next week will be my 4th week in actual A-School. I was on holding here for a week, but other than that, everything's been Gucci. So yeah. So P days. Okay, so when you get there, you're gonna go through P days. P days is 5 days. It depends on what day of the week you get there and whether or not you have to ROM, but because they're only taking vaccinated sailors, I believe, you may not even have a chance to ROM. But according to the people that I've met that did a ROM, everybody hated a ROM. So glad that you guys may not have to experience that anymore. I got to ROM for 1 day when I originally got there, but other than that, I didn't really ROM at all because I never had any reason to. But anyways, so P days as a whole, P days is a lot of running around. It's waking up really early, like a 04 reveille. Reveille is when you wake up, so it's just like super early. Everybody's half asleep. Just really chaotic. You're getting a bunch of shots. If you have a fear of shots, I just want to let you know they do try and accommodate that, but they're basically just gonna make you sit on the floor and just scooch you through the line. Just scooch on the floor, like literally like sit on your butt and do this, and you scooch across the floor, so that in the event that you faint, you don't fall over and bust your head open. It's kind of a shorter fall because all you do is your torso would just fall. Did have somebody pass out during the blood draw, so spooky. But yeah, it's just medical, dental, and then like a lot of wing taping, and a lot of P tests. You'll do your P test a lot in boot camp. P as in you go to the freaking head and you squat and pee when they ask you to. And if you can't pee, then you're gonna be in a world of trouble because you gotta pee. Because they're gonna think you're hiding something. But that's basically P days all in a nutshell. P days also is when you get your CAT card issued, which is your military ID, your Type 3 uniforms, like your PT gear, your Go Fasters and all that, your ditty bag issue basically. And that's all when you're in the Pearl Harbor. So there's one side of the base that's Pearl Harbor and like Red Rover and all that stuff, which you guys will figure out when you're in boot camp. So there's one side of the base and then there's the other side of the base. The other side of the base is with all the ships. So that's everywhere that you're actually going to live, like where your compartments are and like the chapel and the midway and all the crazy fun stuff, except for firefighting and where the swim is, the Indianapolis. Everything else is on the other side of the base, which is through the tunnel. Yeah, so you'll spend a lot of P days. You'll spend pretty much all your P days on the first side of the base, and that's where you get there whenever you first arrive there. You'll get there and you arrive at Golden 13, and then you'll be moved into Pearl Harbor. So you'll stay in the Pearl for like 5 days ish, depending on what day you land on. So like for me, I think our week started on a Wednesday, so it was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday. But yeah, or it was a Tuesday maybe. Oh my god, I can't remember. But I kept a journal for every single day I was in boot camp. if you're into that, or if you want to have somewhere to have an outlet when you're in boot camp, I would suggest getting a journal. I was able to keep up on mine mainly because I was super consistent about it, because I want to keep it forever. If you're not really going to keep up with it, it is going to be kind of a hassle. If you guys like your sleep and stuff, like, because you can really only journal when it's like time to go to sleep, and you're really not supposed to be doing it because they expect you to be asleep. But you could do it when you write letters and stuff. That's what I did. Now looking back on it, I'm so glad I kept a journal, because it's really nice to look back some days and like think about like how boot camp was, because now like it feels like boot camp's been so far away. In reality, it happened not even a month ago. I was literally graduating a month and a week ago. It's really crazy that this is my life. I'm sitting in my room right now. I'm on the top rack, so we're kind of just chilling by the ceiling. But anyways, getting off topic, but P-Days, that's pretty much it. And then the very, very last day of P-Days is when you're going to take your swim test. So I'm going to make this pretty straightforward. If you can float and keep yourself up in the water, you will pass the swim test. Okay? If you can't float or you can't keep yourself up in the water, you're going to fail the swim and you're going to have to do a remedial swim. So the thing about remedial swim is that it's really not that bad. Being a swimmer isn't that bad. My roommate in A-School, I think she was actually a swimmer. And one of my really good friends from boot camp, she was a swimmer all the way up until battle stations. So you can pass the swim test. The only thing is that it just makes it a little bit harder, because you're going to have to go to swim every single day, and it's draining. You have to go in the morning and still try and participate to everything else that goes on in boot camp. So that's why people always tell you to just learn how to swim before boot camp. Just take the extra month, take the extra 2 months to wait and learn how to swim decently to where you can go and at least get through. Because you only have to do a third class swim, which is really, you just have to float and be able to hold yourself up in the water. But I'll probably go into it later, but the swim test is basically 4 different things. It's the typical, like, you jump off the tower that you see in all the crazy videos. You jump off the tower and then you swim like 50 feet or something, 50 meters or something like that, and you pick like a stroke, and then you got to swim to the other side. And then you have the prone float, and then the coverall inflate thing for the flotation device, and then you have abandon ship, which is you jump off the tower again. So you jump off a tower twice, and jump off the tower, and you have a life vest on, and then you jump into the water, and then you swim to the little life raft, and then get into the life raft, get out of the life raft, swim to the other side, and then you're done. So really not that difficult, but if you don't know how to swim, it's gonna be insanely difficult, because you got to be able to pull your weight. So that's it for the swim. And then we also had our initial PRT, or PFA, initial PFA. So for me, it was a pacer test, and I wasn't really prepared for a pacer test. I was ready to run the track. So we did a pacer test, and they never really told us what the passing score was. But I knew that a lot of people failed if they were like below like 16 or 18 back and forths on the pacer test. The pacer test is the exact same thing that you see on YouTube, where it's like the fitness gram pacer test is that pacer test is the exact same thing. Wild. And then we still did the push-ups and the plank. So then we got that, and then we went straight to our ship, and we got ship 14, USS Arizona. That's where I was. The USS Arizona is pretty much the farthest ship from anything. It sucks. It was a long walk everywhere, and I hated marching. But a marching band nerd that hated marching in boot camp. Who would have thunk? But we marched around everywhere. So it was pretty sucky. When you move into the ship, you got to move all your stuff. So my RDCs called it the Trail of Tears. A lot of RDCs call it all different types of things. But it's a long walk from the Pearl Harbor to the ship. You'll get there when you get there, and it's going to be great. It's a rite of passage. But we did go to our ship, which I had to do in the pouring rain with only 4 other people because we had special physicals, and so we had to go earlier than everybody else. When they were still they met with the classifiers that day, I think we did, to learn about the rates and stuff. And since we were special physicals, we had to go to medical. So we took our ditty bags early from the Red Rover, and it was pouring. Yeah, my sea bag was soaking wet. I had my backpack, my parka on. Oh, it was horrible. And we were still getting used to like the boots. So tragic, super tragic. But yep. And once you get to the ship, that's kind of like boot camp. That's where like they yell at you. You're medically cleared. They beat you. You know, you got to do all this different type of stuff, and it just gets wild. Okay. For me, lucky me, I had really cool RDCs. 434. They already know we had the chillest RDCs. A blessing and a curse because my division was ass. We kind of sucked at everything. We were kind of like just cruising. We had a lot of drama though, so it just made boot camp a lot more difficult than it needed to be because the drama was just so much. But our RDCs never really beat us. We got beat a few times, but it was never really severe. We got like really pretty bad, like maybe twice, maybe 3 times. But I think of twice right now when I'm thinking about it. Yeah, and then once you get to boot camp, week 1, you get into it. You start with your little PTs at Freedom Hall. I think you do like a sustained run as the first thing. So when you go to Freedom Hall, you'll do sustained runs and you'll do shuttle runs. So sustained runs, it's like 15-minute. It's like a 15-minute, a 20-minute, a 30-minute, or 25-minute or something like that. Sustained runs. And so you just run around the track and you just keep running until the timer runs out. And then the shuttle runs is like you do like little different type of events. So it's like you do like a shuffle back and forth, and then you got sprints, and then you'll do like line hops, just stuff like that. And then you'll just rotate. But yeah, so we did every type of like PT type stuff. We did a lot of it in the compartment, but we did do some in Freedom Hall. Mainly we worked out in the compartment. So we just did like PT, and the PT gets increasingly harder as you go throughout boot camp. It gets more and more challenging. And we'll do PT regen on Sunday, which is not really like a workout. It's more like a regeneration of the body, kind of just letting your body have some sort of rest, but keeping it active. So it was like light PT, and that was on Sundays. We did PT regen. So yeah, but we were working out pretty much every other day of the week. Week 1, week 2, well, week 1 through 4, I'm just gonna say is like baby boot camp. So baby boot camp is basically a lot of folding your clothes, a lot of remaking your rack, a lot of discipline, a lot of yelling, a lot of shit going wrong. The RDCs are just yelling at you for no reason because you don't really know what to do it. You're like trying to figure out like your leadership, like with your RPOC, your AROC, your yeomans, because people are moving in and out. Yeah, people that are leaving the division, people coming into the division, which happens throughout all boot camp, but mainly in the beginning, because you'll have people leave because they can't pass their initial PRT. And then once it comes to week 4, you'll have people who leave because they can't pass their RDC assessment. It just gets it's just a little chaotic at the beginning. You're kind of getting used to the sleep, and you know, sleeping as soon as you hit your rack and not, you know, chilling up at night or whatever, doing God knows what in the head, and just kind of finding your place, which is a little difficult to do in boot camp, especially if you're not a people person, or like you don't like to put yourself out there, because these are the people you're gonna know for 8 weeks, 10 weeks for some of you guys that ROM'd, or even longer if you're stuck in THU or RCU. There was a girl in my division who had been in RCU for like 6 months when she broke her leg. So yeah, it's pretty wild, you know. But you just got to be, you know, strong in your mind. Once you get that first letter, you know, you'll feel a lot better. If you don't get letters, I would say try to find somebody else in your division who you're comfortable with. I'm sure, you know, because, you know, my parents, they offered to, you know, my family, they offered to send letters to other girls in my division who didn't get letters, but everybody in my division got letters. Thankfully, everybody in my division got letters, so it was never a problem for anybody in my division. But yeah, so just, you know, check up on, you know, people. You want people checking up on you. You slowly start to develop with a bond with everybody there, weeks 1 through 4. Very slowly but surely, and then you're kind of learning like teamwork and stuff. But once week 4 hits, week 4 is like where all the shit hits the fan. Week 4 is like the turning point of boot camp. It's where everything starts to become a little less making your rack, refolding all your clothes, to, hey, we're gonna do line handling. Hey, we're gonna learn how to pull a boat into port. Hey, we're gonna take you to the simulator and we're gonna do this. Hey, we're gonna teach you how to learn how to shoot a gun. Hey, we're going to take you to the laser range simulator. Hey, we're going to teach you how to be a firefighter. Hey, we're going to expect you to go use a fire extinguisher and put this fire out. Oh, hey, we're going to teach you how to tie a freaking square knot. Like, you know, so, well, square knot didn't really kind of fit in there, but you get the kind of gist of like everywhere else it's going. Basically, it's just, it picks up in tempo, and this is where all the fun stuff is. Like, I mean, since being a volunteer firefighter before coming into the Navy, of course I love firefighting. So firefighting, I'm partially biased as like the best part of boot camp for me. But definitely like week 4 through week 8 is like the best. It's where like you finally start feeling like you're a part of something bigger, because it's more teamwork, you're putting in more effort, and you start, it's not a good thing, but you start to see your division like slowly like dwindle away. To put it into perspective, my division started off with 69 girls and we ended with 41. We were like one of the smallest divisions ever. But every single girl that moved on to the end of that division, we were tight. I was tight with everyone, pretty much. I mean, some days they get on your nerves, but everybody's there for the same reason. Everybody wants to be a sailor. Hopefully everybody wants to be a sailor. And once you get to the end, man, it's like the end all be all. But it takes all those weeks to lead up to it. You're going to learn a lot of history, seamanship. There's only 2 actual academic tests in boot camp. And they're really not that difficult. You'll have like an EPO and stuff where their job is to help you study. And you'll study pretty regularly. My division studied pretty regularly. We just never really did that well. We did enough to like keep it coasting, but we weren't really top of the training group or anything like that. We did have the top recruit in our division. Shout out to her, if she ever sees this video. But she was pretty cool. But we had 2 honor grads in our division. An honor grad, you get an extra ribbon. It's that blue ribbon. It has red and yellow on it. The super recruit ribbon. But yeah, being a super recruit is pretty cool. I unfortunately was not a super recruit. Win some, you lose some, I guess. But that's pretty much it, for like overall boot camp. I know somebody's probably gonna ask, but the best part of boot camp, for me, was probably battle stations. So, I mean, obviously I signed a page 13 saying I can't speak anything specific about battle stations, but going into battle stations, I was so nervous of battle stations, because battle stations is one overnight. So you stay up, they wake you up at 6 o'clock, or was it, I think we woke up at 5 o'clock that day. 5 o'clock in the morning, and they make you stay up all the way, all that night, and all of the next day until taps. It was a long day and a half, man. That night, it was just like, there was so much going on, and it was so chaotic, and like it's the part where like everything starts to come full circle. You're starting to see everything you learned, and I talk it all up. The capping ceremony hit me so hard. As a lot of you guys who have been following the channel and who have seen the prior videos know how long, it took for me to get here, and the heartache and the headache I had to go through to get here. So to finally change my recruit ball cap to a Navy ball cap just meant everything to me. I bawled so hard at the capping ceremony, and then to see I made some really good friends at boot camp. One, she's pretty much like my best friend now. We moved to A-School together, and we were friends all through boot camp. Like my rack mates, the girls I slept next to every single night for 8 weeks. When we were at that capping ceremony and just seeing them, and then them looking at me, and then we just feel a sense of pride, and you're just so proud of yourself because some of these people, a lot of people, it's all from different backgrounds. I've met so many people from out of the states that are coming here for a better life, better opportunity, and that's what they got. And you just see all that hard work pay off, and everybody just has the same kind of feeling, and it's this kind of feeling in the air. It's like a hoorah, type of moment, and everybody's cheering and everybody's yelling, and they have a song playing in the background, and it makes you cry, and you're getting your RDCs to shake your hand, and it's just, the feeling is unmatched when you get told that you're now a sailor and you're a part of the world's greatest Navy. That was just it for me, and because I just wanted it. I mean, it's just a job at the end of the day, but it's so much more to me, I guess. I don't want to say I'm patriotic or whatever, but I don't know, it's just something about being a sailor for me that it was just everything to me, and I just genuinely really wanted to be there. So that was probably the best part of boot camp. The worst part of boot camp was definitely the drama in boot camp. The hardest part about boot camp wasn't even the actual events of boot camp. The hardest part about boot camp was the drama, because there was so much drama in my division that the girls were just bickering and bickering and bickering. It just made everything else so much more difficult because they'd be fighting over everything. Just don't fight with people. You're there to do your job. You're there to get out. Everybody wants to go home. Everybody wants to see their family again. Everybody just wants to hurry up and get out and be a sailor. And if they don't want to be a sailor, they usually get kicked out anyways. And it just be how it be, That is kind of the encompassing of a lot of boot camp. If you guys have any actual specific questions, I could probably answer them in the comments below. I just don't really know what to touch on in a general video, but I'll definitely continue to keep going in smaller bits throughout the week. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the part of the boot camp experience video. Okay. If you guys want to stick around, I'll talk a little bit moving to A-School and stuff. As you guys obviously can see, and that I've already mentioned in the video, I'm currently in A-School. I'm in Nuclear Field A-School out in Charleston, South Carolina. Base is pretty cool. I've been swamped in homework. I've been literally drowning in schoolwork. They weren't kidding when this program was hard, let me tell you. But I'm feeling good. Definitely not what I was expecting at all. As far as what I thought the program was going to be. We do a lot of PT here. We PT a lot. We run a lot. But there's a lot of trails around base. A lot to do. The only people here are only one rate. So gets kind of weird after a while. Finding your way about base is pretty cool. I still talk to a lot of girls from my division every now and then. But I'm not allowed to have my phone in school. So kind of makes everything a little bit more difficult. Yeah, I just got to wear civvy clothes. Finally, only 4 weeks into A-School. Yeah, I'm rocking a 3.3 GPA. School's kicking my butt a lot harder than I thought it would, but I'm just hoping it gets a little bit better from here. I'm gonna keep trying and just keep up studying, and hopefully, everything works out the way I hope it to. I made a lot of new friends here. Yeah, school's just been hard. It's just a lot mentally. It's very taxing. I don't get a lot of sleep. I try and make it up. I joined honor guard here too, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's just a lot of new experiences here in A-School. I'm not really allowed to talk a lot about the program itself. I'm slated for electrician's mate nuclear, which I really hoped for because I had an electrician's mate contract before. But I am electrician's mate nuclear, so that'll be pretty cool. Just started A-School. I finished my third test today, this morning actually. I took my very third test, my third test, and pretty good so far. You know, it could always be better, but we're just gonna keep going with there, and it's a good start. Hopefully it's a good finish. It's about kind of all the updates I got for now. Like I said before, feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, DM me on Instagram. I have been getting a lot of people's DMs, and I have been trying to respond to them. So yeah, just hit me up if you guys have any more questions or anything specific that you want me to ask or that you want me to figure out for you. If you guys are looking into nuclear fuel A-School, maybe like I could chat with you on the side or something. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, we're gonna sign up for now. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.